Hello there, friends, and good morning or afternoon. My name is Christy Johnson, and welcome to my channel, Sunshine and Serenity. So I'm so excited that you have joined me. I'm going to do a kind of a little short introduction for you guys, and then we're going to go on a garden tour because every Monday morning I have shared my garden tour with my friends, and my friends have encouraged me to share it all with you guys through this channel. So I'm super excited that they have encouraged me to do that. Just a little backstory, I am a new beginner gardener, and I'm learning some homesteading skills that can help us in our journey as we grow and adapt. We do live in the city, so we are doing what we can with what we have while we're here, but our ultimate dream and goal is to actually own some land and stead there and get some animals and just garden and you know, just continue to grow our dream beyond where we are now. But as a fellow local YouTuber has always stated, that you need to turn your weight room into a classroom. So I have definitely abided by that great advice and learned a lot so far in my journey. And I just would like to share with you guys who may be struggling or starting off or have this dream that you don't think will come to fruition, let you know that you can start now and you can do it. So just a little backstory on me before we get into our garden tour. My name is Christy Johnson, and I am a gardener, homesteader, in progress, mom, stay-at-home mom, full-time college student, homesteading, homeschooling, mom of two beautiful children, and a full-time wife, all the things, all the time. And we are in Central Arkansas, Zone 7B. So if you follow Roots and Refuge Farm, I am close to where Jess lives. If you don't, you should definitely follow, because she is one of the people that inspired me to actually start gardening and homesteading and all of that in the first place. So I definitely am super grateful for people like her and just the influencers that are willing to help people starting out and learn without us having a fear of being judged for not knowing anything. So I definitely appreciate all that her and many other YouTubers alike do for all of the gardening community. So a little backstory, we are in Central Arkansas. This is my first year growing a garden. We are super excited. I've always wanted to do it in the past, but we just never got to it. And then when everything crazy happened in this world, you know, 2020 has not been what everybody expected, and it has definitely shown us where some areas in which we need to improve in our skills and things that we need to learn in case anything were to happen in the future. So that is where we're at. We are trusting that God is going to provide for us and help us in all the knowledge and growing that we need in order to be successful in everything that we do. We first always give it to God, and we know that He has completely got everything for our family figured out, even when we don't. So we are super excited that we have God to trust in for everything. But again, I'm first time gardener, so I did a spring and summer garden, and I'll take you on a tour in just a minute to kind of show you what I've got. It's not a super large garden. Again, I'm working with what space I have, but I am super excited. I have started seeds indoors for the fall, and I'm super excited about that. I'm really looking forward to some cool down weather and just a more relaxed atmosphere. We are just really excited to dive into all the learning tools and to share them with you guys, because I know there are people that even now are in a place where I was not too long ago, and I can share what I've learned thus far. And I feel like it's my duty and responsibility to be able to share that with people that were in a position just like I was, like not too long ago. So there's always something that somebody can teach somebody else, no matter where you are in your journey. So I am just very excited to share this channel with you guys. I hope that you guys will check it out and let me know kind of, what material you would like to see tailored around you. I'm going to do some how-to videos on people learning how to make bread and butter and just all kinds of things that I have learned that I feel like it is my responsibility and duty to share with other people. So I am super excited that God has given me this platform, however big or small it may be. I'm just happy to be able to share it with other people. So, all right, if y'all are ready, let's get started on our garden tour. Okay, so just a little overview of kind of what my garden space is looking like. I do have several different areas. We are planning on adding on to that area right over there for next year's spring and summer garden with some more cattle panel trellises. But starting out, we just kind of wanted to start small and just grow from there. But I have some beautiful flowers out on my deck that I just love. The hummingbirds love these too, so they definitely get enjoyment out of them as well. But it's always nice to have something beautiful growing nearby to help inspire you and let you know that even if you're going through a storm right now, that there is always something beautiful to see around you. So I'm definitely glad to have that reminder. Okay, so we're going to start over here. This is where I usually start with my friends when I share my gardening tours, but this is my watermelon plant, and some of it is dying back, and then I'm getting new growth on it as well. We have a cute little melon there in its little trellis, and then we have a few smaller ones in there. And then we have another fairly good size watermelon right there. We're still letting them grow. It is a sweet crimson watermelon, so they will get kind of big and round versus big and oval. So we're just letting it do its thing. All right, now this is our strawberry area. Now I just recently up-potted this strawberry from the pot that it was in and found a kiddie pool that somebody was getting rid of on the side of the road. Perfect condition. I drilled some holes in it, filled it with nice soil, and I planted my strawberries, and so it's starting to already send out runners. You can kind of see there, and I'm getting strawberries on this thing, so it's kind of like trying to be a late producer. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so this is kind of again a little overview of kind of what I've got going on here. A lot of the stuff that you're seeing are empty beds getting ready for fall plantings. I have tore out my first plantings of tomato plants and things like that, so it is a little bare right now. But this is my second planting of squash right here. This is the yellow prolific straight neck squash. And then my basil back there, it's not doing tremendous. I have had an issue with a lot of caterpillars in my garden that we have been trying to keep at bay, and they like to munch on my leaves. So that is why the basil looks like that. So when you're gardening, just know you will have pests, and it happens. This is my second planting of tomato plants right here for a second harvest. Now half of these, this half on this side is San Marzano paste tomatoes, and then the other half are Cherokee purple. And I'm starting to get lots of little tomatoes just all over. I'm super excited. I'm going to use these for sauce tomatoes. My first round of tomato plantings did not do great. I did get some tomatoes, but they were ravaged with disease. I got Septoria leaf spot, and then I dealt with a lot of pest issues, aphids, hornworms, all that fun stuff. So these are looking much healthier, and I'm super excited to see what they churn out. These are my cherry tomatoes, and they're still kicking. They're wild, but they're still kicking, and they're still pumping out cherries. So we're just gonna let it go. You know, sometimes things get wild here, and you just gotta let it do its thing. So we're gonna let it do it. All right, and these are my second plantings of cucumbers. Now these are a type of cucumber that doesn't require pollination. So right now, this time of year, bees are pretty scarce in the garden as it is. Even on a normal time of year, they're pretty scarce around here. So this is just a nice way to be able to get in a second harvest of cucumbers before the frost comes and not have to worry about hand pollinating so much because it doesn't require it. But I've got flowers on there already. So we're excited. My son loves cucumbers. There's my okra plant. It has still not flowered and it's not getting very much taller, so I'm not quite sure what it's doing, but we're just gonna let it do it. And I have a almost newly opened sunflower. Look at that little guy. He's kind of shy. He's kind of shy. Say hello. Say good morning. And we have a zucchini plant in a pot down here. And my opal basil that I've been cutting from and drying. And then lots of bush beans in this area that are starting to flower. So we should be having some beans pretty soon. Just give you kind of a view of the trellises there. I love being in my garden. It's absolutely my favorite place to be. And there is my chocolate mint plant that I have cut back and dried several times, and you can't really tell. Mint grows wild and crazy and spreads. So if you grow mint, it is definitely a recommendation to grow it in a pot because it will get wild and out of hand very quickly and take over your garden. So that is why I'm growing it in a pot. And then we have another squash plant here. You can see I've got some squash down in there. Beautiful, nice growing plant there. I have some more strawberries right in here. No strawberries on it. I do have some flowers. It's trying to flower and come back, but no strawberries on it. Look at that guy. Isn't he beautiful? I just absolutely love him. He is just... sunflowers are like my absolute most favorite thing in the whole world. And here are my beans. Now I have two different types of beans on this trellis. These are my cowpeas and they are doing phenomenal. Like, they have far exceeded my expectations. I have beans all the way up here and they're just producing like crazy. However, on this side of the trellis, I do have pole beans that I planted before the cowpeas. They are flowering, but they are not producing beans. So I'm thinking it's way too hot. And they're dropping their blossoms. So I do have the cowpeas producing, which means I'll probably plant double the amount of cowpeas around this time next year just to get more beans because they are doing better. All right, next up is my corn. Now this corn is not super tall and it's very short and it tasseled early, but I do have ears of corn down in here. I have at least 8 or more, so we're just gonna let it go, see what it does, learn and adapt that for next year in our growing practices. So we're just gonna see. And then this is our pumpkin plant right here. Now this pumpkin plant has not produced pumpkins. The flowers are flowering, but then they're dropping off. So again, it could be the heat. I am in Central Arkansas. We've been having 90-degree weather and it's been very hot. So we just left it for decoration and we're just going to let it go, but I am not going to devote any more space next year for pumpkins. We're just going to devote that space to something else that we know will grow and produce. This is my blueberry bush. Now it is done for the season, but it is producing new shoots and growth for next year, so we'll have berries again next year. These are all new potted. I just potted these. These are all different kinds of basil because I love basil. You can't have too much basil. There's some that's come up right there. And yeah, so I have different kinds of basil. It's definitely a staple in our household. And then we have this tomato plant right here in my pot, and I've got some nice little tomatoes there. Now this is, I believe, a Bradley tomato plant that I propagated from a sucker from one of my plants. So we'll see how it grows. It seems to be doing well. And then next we have my dwarf okra plants. Now these are a red jewel dwarf okra variety, and so I've got them in pots and they're doing very well. They're growing, so we're just gonna let them go. Again, that's kind of our motto here, just let them grow and see what happens. And then I have a Cuban Nell pepper plant right here, and I picked several peppers off of this plant, but there's one right there. And yeah, it's doing great. And then all of my chilies Right here, we have lots of chilies. I'm waiting on these to turn red. I'm going to dehydrate them and ground them up into chili pepper. So we're just waiting on that. All right, moving over to this side, we have a couple more tomato plants in pots right here. I have a late pepper starter. So I try to grow peppers from seed this year, and the pepper plants you see that are doing well are actually from starts, because almost all of the peppers I tried to start from seed did not propagate. This one, however, did, although it was after half the season was already over when it decided it wanted to grow. So I'm just going to let it go. It probably won't produce anything, but I'm going to let it go and do its thing. And then I have another pepper plant here. This is a bell pepper. Now, it did have several peppers on it that I have already picked off. Again, we have more basil because I love basil, and another bell pepper plant, which again, I did pick a couple of bell peppers off of this already, so it doesn't have any on it right now. But that is what the garden is doing, and it is just, I mean, it's still beautiful for it being halfway through the season and not a whole lot left to grow, but I still love it just the same. So thank you so much for joining me on my Monday morning garden tour, and thank you for joining me on this journey. If you are here to learn more, if you're a beginner in things of homesteading or just anything, and you're here, welcome. I'm so excited and super blessed that you are here and joining me, and I can't wait to see what this journey holds. I'm super excited. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm definitely excited, and I'm excited for the journey because it's something that I truly enjoy learning, and I would hope that others would enjoy learning as much as I would enjoy teaching it. But I really enjoy it. I love nature. I enjoy being outside in the garden, and we're just so excited to see what God grows in our garden and what God grows in our life. So thank you for joining me. I hope you'll have a blessed Monday, and I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, friends, y'all have a wonderful and blessed day.